Hey there, YouTube friends and family. I'm so happy about this day, and I've been waiting for this one, and I know my brother is, kind of behind the camera. He's been waiting for this day too. We've almost let the cat out of the bag a couple times, and it's been really hard because neither one of us are very good at hiding secrets when we're excited about something. And I get excited about firearms. He gets excited about firearms. So let me back up and I'll tell you where this story started. So I was down the YouTube rabbit hole and I was watching videos. I'm probably like you. I'm watching the same kind of guys you are, Backfire TV. I watch like Hootie Hoo and guys like that, Hickok 4.5 for sure. And they were all talking about this rifle and they're like, it has no business being this good at this price. There's no way it's beat like higher expensive rifles. And they were always like, it's awesome, it's exciting. Hootie Hoo owns like 6 or 7 of them. So if that might give it a little hint. And I don't know if you can make that out, but like you guys who are aficionados, just by looking at this bolt, you can probably have a clue what it is. So I threw the challenge out to my brother because he was in the market for a 223 5.56 shooter. He hadn't picked up his WK-180. In fact, he picked it up the same day. And I didn't have a 308 or a 7.62, so I was looking at a 7.62 by 39 Soviet. I have an SKS, but no, I didn't. It fell out of a canoe into the lake, but I had one, and I kind of like shooting that round. I'm like, dude, I need to pick up something, a bolt action, something that I can kind of do a little bit of like grouping shots, because as I said, I'm kind of getting excited about rifle shooting again. I've been kind of focusing on pistol, but the fun is coming back for rifle shooting. So I'm going to tell you what it is in this box. So anyway, again, I'll back up a bit, and I'm sorry if I'm dragging this on, but it's a bit of a story. So I threw the challenge out to my brother. I said, dude, you're looking for a 223 5.56. I said, you need what I'm looking at. And he's like, oh, I don't know, man. I like bolt action. I got quite a few of them. Whatever. Like, it doesn't excite me. I'm like, hold on a second. 10-round magazine, very affordable. And he's like, well, what do you mean by affordable? And that's what is selling this gun. Like, this thing is even hard to find in Canada. Every now and then you get a batch of them. They sell up quick. You won't find any on consignment or used because people shoot them and they're like, holy crap, and they keep them. So I said, it's a Ruger American Ranch. It only comes in one color. You got to get it in flat dark earth, which even if you're not a fan, you better love on it because it's cool looking. So I went and I called the great people at That Hunting Store in Richmond, Ontario, and like my brother is wearing one of the hats. Fantastic. They've got great stock. They've got good suppliers. It's a family-owned business, and even if they don't have it in stock, they can get it for you. They'll ship it to your address. Anyway, they're fantastic. If you're in Canada, go check them out. They're really knowledgeable. They've got great staff, like I said, and the owners are fantastic. So, anyway, I called her up. I said, do you have, or do you know when you're getting in a Ruger Ranch 7.62 by 39? And she instantly sent me back a picture of that exact firearm. She said, you mean like this one? I'm like, goddamn. All right. I wasn't expecting this. Put it aside. I don't know when I'm going to come and get it, but I'll come and get it. No problem. I immediately contact my brother. I said, Glenn, the gauntlet is thrown. You need the Ranch. And here's what I'm thinking. We're going to face these. It's like an East meets West, Soviet versus NATO. I'm shooting the 7.62 by 39, and you're going to shoot the 5.56. And he's like, I'll take a look at it. I don't know. Anyway, he went down to the store, because they had that one in stock as well. Went down to the store, and he ended up picking up that, a WK, and, spent some other money on optics and stuff. But I said, here's the deal. I know what I'm going to be using this for, and I kind of know where I'm aiming for an optic, pun intended, but you can't tell me what you're doing with an optic, and I want to see where we end up as far as optic choice. I have a thing where I don't spend more than 50% on the price of a rifle on an optic. It's just my thing. It's just my guideline. If I'm going to do long-range precision shooting, I'm probably spending $5,000 on a rifle. Not that I have that kind of money, but because all these rifles are bought with my own money or traded or won in draws, and I've been pretty lucky with that stuff. So anyway, I just don't see the advantage. Maybe there is, but I'm not sold on it. My brother, on the other hand, loves the gadgets, loves to nerd out on the turret, stops and illumination, and he'll tell you every single stat about all the optics, and he's the kind of guy, he spends $900 on a rifle and $1,500 on an optic. So I was like thinking immediately, like, well, this is going to be a battle of optics, and I'm pretty sure I'm a better shot than him. I know he's going to disagree. I'm pretty sure I am, but I might have a disadvantage because he might have more zooms included. I don't know what we went with, and it'll be freaking hilarious if we both pick the same optic, because she does have a very good selection of optics and ammunition. If you can't find something, contact her. She's probably got it. So we're going to do a grouping challenge later, and I got some Hootie Hoo inspired arts and crafts paper plates. So we're going to measure those out. It's going to be fun. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Ruger Ranch. It goes for $669 US. It's about $849, $859, depending on where you shop, depending on where you get it. But it's around that price in Canada. As I said, synthetic, FD stock. Stuff feels a little chintzy, but it's solid. It's good. Comes with a scope rail, so you don't have to worry about that. Barrel length, both of them, they're the same, 16.12 inches. The 7.62 by 39 has a 1.95 right-hand twist rate. So 1 per 9.5 inches and 5 grooves. The 7.62 by 39, which is in the green bag here, comes in at 5.9 pounds, and the 5.56 chamber one comes in at 6.1 pounds, and we were talking about that. Probably the difference in weight is just how much they had to drill out the barrel. It's a medium heavy barrel. Overall length of the firearm, it's a shorty. It's 36 inches. It's crazy how short this thing is. Length of pull, 13 3/4, so good for those tall guys, with longer forearms. It's not going to feel like a small rifle. It looks like a small rifle, but it won't feel that way. It's got the Ruger pattern marksman adjustable trigger, which is very much like the AccuMark triggers that you might find on the Savage. And it is anywhere from 3 to 5 pounds, which I think is a good weight if you're using it for hunting. You don't want something too light. So I think that's a good, we'll see. I haven't shot it yet. One piece, 3-lug bolt. Glenn happens to have his out, so I'll show it. That's a great beefy looking bolt. 70-degree throw, which is awesome because if you get that 90 or even 85, sometimes it interferes with the optics on the chambering. So that is a heavy, beefy 3-lug bolt. It's crazy like how good that is, and you can see the machining marks on it. It's solid. Okay. The patented power bedding, okay, that's Ruger's thing, right? They put that on, and I'll say this about Ruger too, they're not very ingenious when it comes to naming their rifles. Like, if you say, oh, I got a Ruger American, the Predator, the Ranch, like I think there's like 5 models that has Ranch in the name somewhere. But it does give it a free float barrel. I've tried mine, I ran the paper through, up the barrel, it floats, there's no sticking points. The barrel is cold hammer forged, which really helps for the accuracy of this thing. Tang located safety, I love that feature. I could deal with it if it's up like traditionally on the right hand side of where your receiver is, that kind of switch. I like it there. I don't like the cross bolt on the front of the trigger. I'm not used to it. I don't have enough rifles that have that, and I find like I'm reaching for it instead of like instinctively finding it. But I like the Tang safety, and you can see it quite clearly when it's ready to fire or when it's in safe. The Ruger American Ranch 7.62 by 39 takes mini 30 mags, which is very cool if you can get your hands on them, right? You could, if you're in the States, you can get 20 round mags, and you can order them right from Ruger. For the 5.56, it takes LAR mags, so you can get a 10 round magazine, even in Canada. Metal, P-mags, you name it, it'll run them. And it's actually got an AR style mag release, whereas the 7.62 by 39 has more of a flipper. And we'll look at them when we unbag these things. The only difference, again, the weight for the 5.56 It's got a 1 in 8 right-hand twist, so a little bit less, a little bit tighter of a twist rate, I should say, because it's a smaller caliber round, and they want that thing spinning to create a stable trajectory and a predictable flight path. AR style mag. So there it is, guys. I'm pretty excited about this. I really want, so I'm going to get my brother to come over here, and he's kind of like unbag or unbox, if you want to call it that. You're going to get your first look at the 7.62 by 39, his first look at it. So I really want him to kind of...
If I have to guess, it's probably very practical for the round.
I think this is going to be my hunting firearm. I think I'm going with it for this. A great bush gun, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah, perfect. Like an AR style scope. What do you go? 2 to 7?
It's a 1 to 6.
1 to 6. Perfect for the brush. Absolutely perfect. Like,
yeah, that's
the most practical. It's a fantastic magazine or scope.
Bushnell Legend, cap turrets, which is fine because I think this is going to be more of like a hunting application rifle, especially where we hunt for deer. It's like 120 meters or less, so that's why I kind of went with a 1x6, and it does have it's got an illuminated dot, so you can leave it at a 1
for the illumination.
You know why I did? Because I was
maybe
thinking
that was parallax when I first saw it.
It would be kind of cool to test it as kind of a scout rifle where you're doing like snap shooting, quick reaction shooting, and this has got it's supposed to be a quick target acquisition type scope. So there is a red dot. It's not the reticle, but there's a red dot on whatever illumination. So. And the price point on the scope was $300, so it fit in my less than 50% of you got a black fly biting you. Less than 50%. Bushnell makes great scopes. In fact, every price point is out there, and they have a lifetime guarantee. It breaks, they don't ask questions. Put it in a box, send it to them, and you get a new one. Threaded barrel. Oh, by the way, I should say it's a 5/8 24 standard threaded barrel on both of them. So. If you wanted to put, if you're in the U.S., and God love you can put this rifle, in my mind, and I don't know if you agree with me, Glenn, but it's begging for a can. Wouldn't it be cool to have like a 4-inch, 6-inch suppressor on the end of that?
The 16-inch barrel is screaming for an accessory.
It needs something. So maybe I'll put a muzzle brake on it. I mean, shooting 7.62 by 39, it doesn't really need it, but I think it would make it more sexy. But there it is, a very simple rifle.
Yeah, and that's what I would have thought you were going with, was something less than...
So you would have guessed something like that.
Something 0 to 9, something for tight quarters, 7.62 by 39. You're not going to shoot that further than 150 or so.
Yeah, the ballistics really shit the bed on this caliber out past the 250 mark compared to other cartridges that are more suitable for deer. But we know that the bullet weight, the 123 grain, you can get some good stuff. There's Hornady Black, and in fact I bought a box, but I'm not going to shoot it today because we're going to do a group, and I've got a shit ton of like really cheap ammo. And from what I heard about this rifle, it shoots no matter what, and it's tight, and it has no business being as good as what it is. So that's what I'm excited about, and I'm also excited because we have two rifles that are exactly the same, so we're going to shoot both of them. And I might like
show how much better the NATO round is than the Warsaw Pact.
Well, I mean, it's certainly...
Yes, I'm old.
It's pointier. It's definitely pointier. I wish we could do a penetration test because... or, like, knock out cinder blocks.
I'm not volunteering.
We could knock out cinder blocks, and then we could see where, this round... I'm not a big Soviet round guy, but I think this is cool. And I really like this setup. I like...
It's nice and thick.
It's a beefy barrel. I love the setup. I love the look of it. And it's the price point, dude. Like seriously, if you're gonna spend $1,000 on a rifle and scope combo, and then you're gonna knock down rifles that cost twice the price, and look how compact and like there's nothing to this, even with the scope on it. I mean, it's a toy. It's great. I love it. I really, really love it. And there's that tang safety that I mentioned, right? It's, very intuitive. You can get on there. The foregrip, it's not as straight as if you might have wanted it for like precision shooting, and we'll show later a good example of that. But I think this is great. So if you're done looking at it, if you wouldn't mind,
that was my guess.
something
AR based, something 150 meters.
something cheap.
Not cheap.
Well, no,
You would.
not expensive.
I never seen a guy cheap out on scopes as bad as this guy does.
I still shoot good though, so.
I guess, eh? The scope doesn't make
All
the
right,
rifle.
I'm picturing. I kind of thought he might have been going with like the Vortex Hog Hunter. He has that on another one of his scopes, of rifles. Sorry, and it's performing well. So, all right. I actually thought he was going to go with a Leopold. I really did, but I thought it was going to be a 3-9 or a 4-12. And so, what do we have here? We have a Vortex.
It's a Viper.
This is the Viper. Okay, so he's going probably like 2/3 the price of the rifle.
Yeah, I cheaped out on the scope this time.
Yeah, he cheaped out on the scope. I mean, this is a great scope. It really is. I don't. I mean, on the 5.56, it kind of makes a little bit more sense. You're good to probably close to 400 meters. I don't know if we'll get there today. Well, we definitely won't get there today.
I may have overkilled it a little bit. I didn't realize how short the barrel was. I bought the scope first. So the scope comes halfway down the barrel.
It doesn't look funny, though. So there's, the 5.56, safety on the Tang, same thing. But there's that AR kind of style release. And you can see it on the magwell. It's, where it catches and where it releases. So I think they're so funny looking, though. Just because they're so short. The scope doesn't look like terrible on that, and I mean it's Vortex. You're going to get good clear glass. Where you're going to suffer and where I'm going to excel is if we shoot this at 50 yards. That's where
it's 4 to 12.
Right. So I mean, oh, you got a 50-yard marker there.
Yeah, I got a pair. I wanted the one with the parallax.
Okay. I mean, at 25, it's a little blurry.
Well,
So maybe we'll do the target shooting at 25 meters. That's where I'm going to excel. But I'm going to run out of zooms. That's what's going to happen. If we're shooting at 100, the max I can go is 600. So either throw handcuffs on you and say you can't go above 6 zoom. But that's not really fair. I might do that. That's not really fair. It would be mean of me to do that, but we might do that, but maybe not as far as the competition. I might do that just to see like which one is getting a better
with
grouping.
6 magnification.
Yeah,
Does the extra expensive getting the Viper glass, which is what I wanted to have.
Does size matter when it comes to scopes? I mean, mine is more girthy. My scope is definitely girthier. But it's just shorter. It's
that one's an older model, so it's only got the 1-inch tube instead of like a 30 millimeter or 32 millimeter.
I like the quick throw though. Very easy to change your zoom. I mean, that'll probably wear in a little bit. I like that. It's not hard to fuddle around with. But you've got other options for deer hunting.
That one's not for deer.
Man,
at all.
It's so steady though, even when you shoulder it, and I mean you're only holding a 6-pound rifle, so maybe 6.5 with that scope. I really thought you were going to go with a Leopold though, like a CDS.
It was in the running.
Yeah, but I knew that you were going to go at least 3, and I was thinking you're going to go 4.12. So there we go. We're both predictable. We've known each other I've known him for all of my life, and for all of my life, and most of his. So that's cool. I mean, I dig it. I like Vortex. My if you're gonna buy a scope, get one that if it breaks you can send it back, and Vortex is great as far as their service. So we're gonna stop yippee-yappeting, and then we're gonna get on these things in zero man. We're gonna probably do a quick zero at 25, and then we're gonna start marching over and pack everything up and go to the 50 and really have some fun with these things, because that's kind of what we came for.
Center low. That was your closest to bull. Half an inch out the yellow. Your other 4 are at the bottom of the plate, at the round part. But they're...
Yeah, which not bad for cheap ammo. Okay, it's a Winchester Full Metal Jacket, like the 193 stuff. Pie plate 5-round grouping. When you're ready, sir.
Safety first.
That always helps. Hey, so we tried the Ruger American Ranch, and we got some interesting results. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any match grade ammo with the exception of one box. So that didn't really work out for me too well. So the only thing I was able to shoot was American Eagle. It was getting a little bit better as time was going on. Probably, and I talked about this with my brother. It's been a long time since we've actually shot grouping. We've shot for zeroing, we've shot for bulls, and then we basically clean the rifle and get ready for hunting season. So this was kind of different for both of us. I'm gonna say he won this round, much to my chagrin, because he's got consistent 1 and I would say 1/4 groupings. And this is the we'll start with his first. Is the 5.56. This is a 75 grain Hornady BTHP. Good ammo, great ammo in fact, and he's getting about a 1 1/4 grouping. One of the shots is discounted because he forgot which plate he was aiming at, but it's about a 1 1/4 grouping, so pretty good. Again, he's got that 4x12, and I think that's I'm not gonna say more expensive is more better, but definitely more zooms is more better in this case. If you're shooting at 100, the more zooms you have, the better. So another 1 1/4 with a 4-round grouping, and he was able to secure a 1-inch grouping with just the really, I'm gonna say, inexpensive Winchester M193 Full Metal Jacket, 55 grain. It's like bulk ammo. It comes in a box. It's not even like in individual holders, so it's dirt cheap, and that's about a 1-inch grouping. With my limited 6, I'm not making excuses. The rifle shot really well. Again, I would have really liked to try some match grade Hornady. I could only find 1 box, and I had this thing about shooting my last box, so I didn't shoot it. But I got about 1.5 inches on this one, which is not bad. And if you discount 1 flyer at one end or the other, it's a little bit closer. There's an extra shot in here because it's a 223. That's a 223. So it's about a 1-inch grouping. I had 3 shots nicely touching, and then the 4th and the 5th. So it's about a 1-inch grouping if you discount a flyer. That's pretty good. I'm going to count that as a win, especially with that American Eagle Full Metal Jacket stuff. Anyway, a lot of fun. Those rifles are amazing to shoot. Don't forget to click that like, subscribe. If you're in the market for a very inexpensive, just a great rifle to plank away with all day, and if you get it in that caliber, you can plank with it. If you want it in a different caliber, you can hunt with it. I'm going to hunt with the 7.62x39, provided I can get some decent ammo for it, because it is a perfect grain firearm, and where I'm hunting, it's very closed in. That 16-inch barrel is going to be amazing. So anyway, Go ahead, click that like, subscribe, please. Helps me out. And on to the next one.